They called her Pocket behind her back, thinking she couldn't hear. At 5 feet 2 inches and barely 115 pounds, Specialist Maya Chen looked more like she belonged in a college library than among the hardened warriors of the 75th Ranger Regiment. What they didn't know was that in 18 months this woman they dismissed as too small, too weak, too soft, would single-handedly extract an entire squad of elite commandos from certain death in the mountains of Afghanistan. What they couldn't see was that sometimes the most powerful forces come in the smallest packages, and that real strength isn't measured in pounds of muscle but in pounds of courage under fire. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. The morning sun cast long shadows across Fort Benning's training grounds as Maya Chen adjusted her gear for what felt like the 100th time. Her hands moved with practiced precision, checking every strap, every buckle, every piece of equipment that could mean the difference between success and failure in the field. At 23, she had already earned her Ranger tab through sheer determination and an almost supernatural ability to endure what others considered impossible. But earning respect among her peers was proving to be a challenge that no amount of training had prepared her for. The other Rangers were gathering near the obstacle course, their voices carrying across the morning air with the casual confidence of men who had never doubted their place in the world's most elite fighting force. Maya could hear fragments of their conversation, the easy camaraderie that came from shared experiences and mutual recognition of each other's capabilities. She wanted to be part of that brotherhood, but she understood that acceptance couldn't be demanded or requested. It had to be earned through actions that spoke louder than words. Staff Sergeant Marcus Johnson stood at the center of the group, his presence commanding attention without effort. At 6 feet 4 inches and 220 pounds of solid muscle, he embodied everything the public imagined when they thought of Army Rangers. His voice carried the authority of someone who had led men through combat situations, where leadership meant the difference between coming home with all your people or coming home with some of them. Johnson had been deployed 6 times, had earned 2 Bronze Stars and a Purple Heart, and had never lost a man under his command. His reputation preceded him wherever he went, and newer Rangers like Maya looked to him as the standard they aspired to reach. Maya watched as Johnson addressed the assembled Rangers, explaining the day's training exercise with the kind of detailed precision that left no room for confusion or misinterpretation. The exercise would simulate a combat patrol in hostile territory, with multiple objectives that had to be accomplished while under simulated enemy fire. Teams would be evaluated on their ability to move efficiently through difficult terrain, coordinate with each other under pressure, and complete their missions while maintaining the kind of situational awareness that kept everyone alive in real combat situations. The exercise had been designed to push Rangers to their limits, testing not just their individual capabilities, but their ability to function as cohesive units when everything was going wrong. Maya had participated in similar training exercises dozens of times, but she knew that today would be different. Word had spread through informal channels that several senior officers would be observing the exercise, evaluating Rangers for potential selection to specialized units that operated in the most dangerous environments the military had to offer. Sergeant First Class David Rodriguez approached Johnson with the casual familiarity of men who had served together through multiple deployments. Rodriguez was Johnson's second-in-command, a veteran with 15 years of experience who had earned his reputation through consistent performance under fire. His presence added weight to any operation, and younger Rangers understood that earning his respect was almost as important as earning Johnson's approval. Rodriguez had a reputation for being fair but demanding, expecting excellence from everyone under his command, while providing the kind of mentorship that helped younger soldiers develop into effective leaders. Maya had worked with Rodriguez on several previous exercises, and she appreciated his direct communication style and his willingness to provide constructive feedback that helped her improve her performance. Unlike some of the other senior Rangers, Rodriguez didn't seem to make assumptions about her capabilities based on her size or gender. He evaluated her based on her performance, which was exactly the kind of professional approach Maya hoped to encounter from all her colleagues. Corporal James Mitchell stood slightly apart from the main group, his attention focused on equipment checks that he performed, with the kind of methodical thoroughness that characterized his approach to everything. Mitchell was a sniper whose precision with long-range weapons had earned him recognition throughout the regiment. His quiet competence and attention to detail made him someone that other Rangers turned to when situations required absolute accuracy. Maya had trained with Mitchell on several occasions and had come to appreciate his calm professionalism and his willingness to share his expertise with anyone who showed genuine interest in learning. The dynamic between these experienced Rangers fascinated Maya because it demonstrated how different personalities and skill sets could complement each other to create effective teams. Johnson provided leadership and strategic thinking, Rodriguez contributed tactical expertise and operational experience, and Mitchell offered specialized capabilities that could prove decisive in specific situations. Maya understood that finding her own role within this framework would require demonstrating capabilities that added value to the team's overall effectiveness. Private First Class Kevin Sullivan represented the newest addition to the unit, having completed Ranger training just 6 months earlier. Sullivan was eager to prove himself, sometimes to the point of taking unnecessary risks that more experienced Rangers had to manage carefully. His enthusiasm was infectious, but it needed to be channeled in ways that contributed to mission success rather than creating additional complications. Maya could relate to Sullivan's desire to demonstrate his worth, though she understood that respect had to be earned through consistent performance rather than dramatic gestures. The training area stretched across several miles of Georgia countryside, featuring terrain that replicated the kind of challenging environments Rangers might encounter during actual deployments. Dense forests provided concealment but limited visibility. Rocky outcroppings offered observation points but exposed anyone using them to enemy fire, and open areas required careful coordination to cross without presenting targets to hostile forces. The exercise designers had created a scenario that would test every skill Rangers were expected to master, from individual marksmanship to team-level tactical coordination. Maya studied the terrain with the same intensity she brought to all her preparations, identifying potential routes of movement, defensive positions, and areas where the team might encounter difficulties. Her approach to tactical planning was methodical and thorough, characteristics that had served her well during previous training exercises. She understood that success in combat situations depended on preparation that anticipated problems before they developed into crises that threatened mission accomplishment. The equipment loadout for the exercise included everything Rangers would carry during actual combat operations: body armor, weapons, ammunition, communications equipment, medical supplies, and specialized gear that might be needed for specific mission requirements. Maya's smaller frame meant that the equipment represented a higher percentage of her body weight than it did for larger Rangers, but she had developed techniques for carrying heavy loads efficiently over long distances. Her endurance training had focused specifically on maintaining performance while carrying equipment that challenged her physical limits. Johnson began dividing the Rangers into teams for the exercise, his selections based on a combination of experience levels and complementary skill sets. Maya watched as he assigned personnel to different squads, hoping to be placed with experienced Rangers who would give her opportunities to demonstrate her capabilities. She understood that team composition could significantly affect individual performance, and she wanted to be in a position where her contributions would be visible to the evaluating officers. The first team consisted of Rodriguez, Mitchell, and 2 other experienced Rangers whose capabilities Maya recognized from previous exercises. This was clearly intended to be the senior leadership element, responsible for overall mission coordination and tactical decision-making. Maya respected the logic of this composition, understanding that successful operations required experienced personnel in key positions. The second team included Sullivan and several other newer Rangers, along with 1 experienced soldier who would provide mentorship and guidance. This seemed to be designed as a learning opportunity for less experienced personnel, allowing them to develop their skills while under appropriate supervision. Maya understood the training value of this approach, but she hoped to be assigned to a team where she could make more significant contributions to mission success. Johnson paused before announcing the third team composition, his attention focusing on Maya with the kind of evaluative look that suggested he was making a decision about her role in the exercise. Maya maintained her professional demeanor, understanding that any reaction she showed would be interpreted as a reflection of her emotional control under pressure. She had learned that Rangers were constantly being evaluated, not just during formal exercises, but in every interaction with their colleagues and superiors. "Maya, you're with Alpha Team," Johnson announced, indicating the senior leadership element. "Rodriguez will be your team leader, and you'll be working with Mitchell and Corporals Anderson and Brooks. Your team has the primary objective, so make sure you're ready to perform at the highest level." Maya felt a surge of satisfaction at being assigned to the senior team, understanding that it represented recognition of her capabilities and potential. But she also understood that the assignment came with increased expectations and responsibilities that she would need to meet if she wanted to maintain her position within the unit. Rodriguez approached Maya as the teams began their final preparations, his expression serious but not unfriendly. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel, it means a lot to us. Now back to the story. Chen, you've got a reputation for being thorough in your preparation and reliable under pressure, he said. Today's exercise is going to test both of those qualities, so make sure you're ready for whatever comes up. Maya appreciated the direct communication and the confidence Rodriguez was expressing in her abilities. She understood that his willingness to work with her represented an opportunity to demonstrate her value to the team. Mitchell joined the conversation, his quiet voice carrying the authority of someone whose expertise was recognized throughout the unit. The primary objective requires us to establish observation positions in terrain that's going to challenge everyone's movement skills, he explained. We'll need to coordinate our movements carefully to avoid detection while maintaining the ability to support each other if we encounter problems. Maya listened intently, understanding that Mitchell's tactical analysis would be crucial for mission success. Corporal Anderson was a communications specialist whose expertise in maintaining contact with higher headquarters and coordinating with other teams would be essential for the exercise. His equipment included radio systems that would allow the team to receive updates about the tactical situation and report their progress to evaluating officers. Maya had worked with Anderson on previous exercises and appreciated his professional competence and his ability to maintain communications under difficult conditions. Corporal Brooks served as the team's medic, carrying specialized equipment and knowledge that could prove crucial if anyone was injured during the exercise. His presence provided a safety net that allowed the team to take calculated risks while maintaining the ability to respond to medical emergencies. Maya understood that Brooks's capabilities extended beyond medical treatment to include tactical skills that made him a valuable contributor to overall mission success. The team began its movement toward the exercise area, their formation designed to provide security while maintaining the flexibility to respond to unexpected situations. Maya took her assigned position within the formation, her movements coordinated with those of her teammates in a way that demonstrated hours of training and practice. The rhythm of tactical movement was something that had to be internalized through repetition until it became instinctive, and Maya had invested significant effort in developing these skills. Rodriguez led the team through terrain that gradually became more challenging as they approached their objective area. Dense vegetation limited visibility, while rocky outcroppings created obstacles that had to be navigated carefully. Maya moved through the difficult terrain with the kind of efficiency that came from extensive conditioning and practice, her smaller size actually providing advantages in situations where larger rangers had to work harder to maintain stealth. The primary objective was located on high ground that provided excellent observation of the surrounding area but also exposed anyone occupying it to potential enemy fire. Mitchell studied the terrain through his scope, identifying potential sniper positions and routes of approach that would minimize the team's exposure to hostile observation. His analysis would be crucial for developing a plan that allowed them to accomplish their mission while maintaining security. Maya contributed to the tactical planning by identifying alternative routes and defensive positions that might not be obvious to larger personnel. Her perspective, gained through extensive experience moving through challenging terrain, provided insights that complemented the team's overall tactical analysis. Rodriguez listened to her suggestions with the same attention he gave to input from more experienced team members, treating her as a professional whose opinions deserved consideration. The exercise scenario included simulated enemy forces that would attempt to detect and engage the Ranger teams as they moved toward their objectives. These opposing forces were played by other military personnel who understood Ranger tactics and would provide realistic challenges that tested the team's abilities to operate under pressure. Maya knew that success would require not just individual competence, but coordinated teamwork that allowed the team to overcome obstacles that no single person could handle alone. Anderson established communications with the Exercise Control Center, receiving updates about the tactical situation and confirming the team's objectives. The radio traffic was conducted using proper procedures and code words that maintained operational security while providing necessary information. Maya listened to the communications, understanding that staying informed about the broader tactical situation was essential for making good decisions at the team level. Brooks positioned himself where he could observe the team's movements and respond quickly if anyone needed medical attention. His equipment included supplies for treating injuries that might occur during the exercise, as well as communications gear that would allow him to request evacuation if necessary. Maya appreciated his professional readiness and his ability to contribute to the team's security while maintaining focus on his specialized responsibilities. The team began its approach to the primary objective, using terrain features to mask their movements while maintaining the ability to communicate with each other. Maya's role was to provide security for the team's flank while staying prepared to support the primary mission if additional personnel were needed. She moved through her assigned sector with careful attention to both the immediate area and the broader tactical situation. Mitchell identified the optimal position for establishing the observation post, a location that provided excellent visibility of the target area while offering some protection from enemy fire. The position would require a careful approach to avoid detection, and the team would need to establish defensive positions that allowed them to hold the area if they were discovered by opposing forces. Maya studied the terrain around the objective, identifying positions where she could contribute to the team's security. Rodriguez coordinated the team's movement into position, his commands delivered through hand signals that maintained noise discipline while ensuring everyone understood their roles. Maya responded to his directions with the precision that came from extensive training. Her movements coordinated with those of her teammates in a way that demonstrated effective team cohesion. She understood that success depended on everyone performing their assigned tasks while remaining ready to adapt if the situation changed. The approach to the objective required crossing open ground that exposed the team to potential observation by enemy forces. Rodriguez planned the crossing carefully, using available cover and coordinating the timing to minimize the team's vulnerability. Maya prepared to move across the exposed area with the kind of speed and stealth that would reduce the chances of detection while maintaining her ability to respond if the team encountered resistance. Anderson monitored radio communications throughout the approach, listening for intelligence updates that might affect the team's mission. His equipment allowed him to maintain contact with other Ranger teams operating in the area, providing opportunities for coordination that could prove crucial if multiple teams encountered problems simultaneously. Maya appreciated the confidence that came from knowing the team could call for support if necessary. Brooks maintained his medical readiness while contributing to the team's overall security, his attention divided between watching for potential injuries and monitoring the tactical situation. His training included both medical skills and combat capabilities that made him a valuable contributor to mission success. Maya understood that effective teams required personnel who could perform multiple roles while maintaining focus on their primary responsibilities. The final approach to the objective required individual movement techniques that minimized noise and visual signatures while maintaining the ability to communicate with team members. Maya used her training in stealth movement to cover her assigned sector, her smaller profile providing advantages in situations where larger personnel might have difficulty maintaining concealment. She reached her position without incident, establishing security that would protect the team while they accomplished their primary mission. Mitchell established his observation position with the methodical precision that characterized all his work, his equipment arranged to provide optimal fields of fire while maintaining concealment from enemy observation. Maya watched him work with professional appreciation, understanding that his expertise would be crucial for mission success. The observation post would serve as the team's primary means of gathering intelligence about enemy activities in the target area. Rodriguez coordinated the establishment of defensive positions that would allow the team to hold their location if they were discovered by opposing forces. Maya took her assigned position within the defensive perimeter, her weapon positioned to cover approaches that enemy forces might use to attack the observation post. She understood that effective defense required coordination between all team members, with each person responsible for specific sectors of fire. The exercise scenario required the team to maintain their position for several hours while gathering intelligence about enemy movements and activities. This phase would test their ability to remain alert and effective over extended periods while dealing with environmental challenges that could affect their performance. Maya settled into her position with the patience that came from extensive training and surveillance techniques. Anderson maintained regular communication with exercise control, reporting the team's status and receiving updates about the broader tactical situation. His reports were brief and professional, providing necessary information while maintaining the kind of radio discipline that would be essential during actual combat operations. Maya listened to the communications, staying informed about developments that might affect the team's mission. Brooks monitored the team's physical condition throughout the extended observation period, watching for signs of fatigue or environmental stress that might affect their performance. His medical training included understanding of how extended operations in challenging conditions could impact personnel, and he was prepared to recommend action if anyone's condition became a concern. Maya appreciated his professional attention to the team's welfare. Mitchell conducted systematic observation of the target area, using his optical equipment to identify and track simulated enemy activities that were part of the exercise scenario. His reports provided intelligence that would be used by higher headquarters to coordinate the actions of all participating Ranger teams. Maya understood that the quality of his observations would directly affect the success of the overall exercise. The observation phase of the exercise tested the team's ability to work together effectively while maintaining the kind of discipline and focus that would be required during actual combat operations. Maya contributed to the team's success by maintaining alert security of her assigned sector while staying ready to support other team members if the situation required additional personnel. She understood that effective teamwork required everyone to perform their individual responsibilities while remaining flexible enough to adapt to changing circumstances. Rodriguez evaluated the team's performance throughout the observation period, noting how well each member performed their assigned tasks while contributing to overall mission success. Maya could sense his professional assessment of her capabilities, understanding that her performance during this exercise would influence future assignments and opportunities. She maintained focus on her responsibilities while demonstrating the kind of reliability that effective teams required from all their members. The Exercise Control Center began introducing complications designed to test the team's ability to adapt to changing situations while maintaining mission focus. Maya listened to the radio traffic that indicated other Ranger teams were encountering various challenges that required tactical flexibility and problem-solving skills. She understood that similar complications might affect her team, and she prepared to respond to whatever situations might develop. Anderson received intelligence updates that suggested enemy forces were becoming aware of Ranger activities in the area and were beginning to search for the observation posts. This development would require the team to maintain even higher levels of stealth and security while continuing to accomplish their primary mission. Maya adjusted her security procedures to account for the increased threat level, her movements becoming even more careful and deliberate. Brooks prepared for the possibility that the team might need to evacuate their position quickly if they were discovered by enemy forces. His equipment was arranged to allow rapid movement while maintaining the medical capabilities that might be needed if anyone was injured during a hasty withdrawal. Maya appreciated his professional preparation and his ability to anticipate potential problems before they developed into crises. Mitchell continued his systematic observation of the target area, but now with additional attention to signs that enemy forces might be searching for his position. His experience as a sniper had taught him to recognize the subtle indicators that suggested he was being hunted, and he monitored the tactical situation with the heightened awareness that came from understanding the consequences of being detected. Maya watched him work with professional admiration, recognizing the skill and experience that made him such a valuable team member. The tension of the exercise scenario increased as radio communications indicated that some Ranger teams had been detected by opposing forces and were dealing with simulated combat situations. Maya understood that her team's ability to remain undetected while continuing to gather intelligence would be crucial for the success of the overall exercise. She maintained her security responsibilities with increased vigilance, knowing that any mistake could compromise the team's position. Rodriguez made the decision to extend the team's observation period beyond the originally planned duration, understanding that the intelligence they were gathering had become more valuable as the tactical situation developed. Maya supported this decision by maintaining her alert security posture, demonstrating the kind of endurance and dedication that effective operations required from all personnel. She understood that mission success sometimes required personnel to perform beyond their normal limits. The extended observation period tested Maya's physical and mental stamina in ways that revealed the depth of her preparation and training. Her smaller size actually provided advantages during the prolonged static position, as she required less food and water to maintain her performance while generating less heat signature that might be detected by enemy surveillance equipment. She used these natural advantages to contribute to the team's overall stealth and security. Anderson's communications with other teams revealed that the exercise was developing into a complex scenario that would test multiple aspects of Ranger capabilities. Maya listened to the radio traffic with professional interest, understanding that the lessons learned during this training would be directly applicable to actual combat situations they might face during future deployments. She appreciated the realistic complexity of the exercise and the opportunities it provided for professional development. Brooks continued monitoring the team's condition throughout the extended operation, his medical training helping him recognize signs of stress or fatigue that might affect performance. Maya appreciated his professional attention to the team's welfare and his ability to provide medical support while contributing to overall mission success. She understood that effective teams required personnel who could perform multiple roles while maintaining focus on their primary responsibilities. Mitchell's observation work revealed patterns of enemy activity that provided valuable intelligence for the overall exercise scenario. Maya watched him analyze the information he was gathering, his professional expertise evident in the way he interpreted what he observed and communicated his findings to higher headquarters. She recognized that his specialized skills were exactly the kind of capabilities that made Ranger teams effective in complex operational environments. The exercise scenario continued to evolve as simulated enemy forces adapted to Ranger activities and began employing more sophisticated search techniques. Maya understood that this development would test the team's ability to maintain their position while continuing to accomplish their mission under increased pressure. She prepared for the possibility that they might need to relocate or modify their tactics to avoid detection. Rodriguez assessed the changing tactical situation and made adjustments to the team's security procedures that would reduce their chances of being detected while maintaining their ability to gather intelligence. Maya implemented his directions with the precision that came from extensive training, her movements coordinated with those of her teammates in a way that demonstrated effective team cohesion. She understood that successful adaptation required everyone to perform their roles while remaining flexible enough to respond to new challenges. The observation post had been occupied for nearly 6 hours when Anderson received intelligence indicating that enemy search teams were operating in their immediate area. Maya felt her heart rate increase as she realized that the exercise was about to become significantly more challenging. She checked her equipment and prepared for the possibility that they might need to defend their position or execute a rapid withdrawal under pressure. Mitchell identified movement in the target area that suggested enemy forces were beginning to search systematically for the Ranger observation posts. His training and experience allowed him to interpret these signs and provide early warning that would give the team time to prepare for potential contact. Maya appreciated his professional vigilance and his ability to provide the kind of intelligence that could mean the difference between mission success and failure. Brooks prepared his medical equipment for rapid deployment while maintaining his contribution to the team's security. Maya watched him work with professional admiration, recognizing the skill required to balance multiple responsibilities while maintaining focus on mission accomplishment. She understood that effective team members needed to be capable of adapting to changing situations while continuing to perform their primary duties. Anderson's radio communications became more frequent as the tactical situation developed, his reports providing higher headquarters with real-time intelligence about enemy activities while receiving updates about the status of other Ranger teams. Maya listened to the communications with professional interest, understanding that staying informed about the broader situation would be crucial for making good tactical decisions. Rodriguez gathered the team for a brief consultation about their options as the enemy search intensified. Maya contributed to the discussion by identifying potential withdrawal routes and defensive positions that might not be obvious to other team members. Her perspective, gained through extensive experience in similar terrain, provided insights that complemented the team's overall tactical analysis. The decision was made to maintain the observation post for as long as possible while preparing for rapid withdrawal if they were discovered. Maya understood the logic of this approach, recognizing that the intelligence they were gathering was valuable enough to justify accepting increased risk. She prepared for both possibilities, ensuring that she could contribute to the team's defense or support a withdrawal as the situation required. Mitchell continued his observation work with increased intensity, understanding that every piece of intelligence he gathered might prove crucial for the success of other Ranger teams operating in the area. Maya watched him work with professional respect, recognizing the dedication and skill that made him such an effective team member. She understood that mission success often depended on personnel who were willing to perform at their highest level even when facing increased danger. The exercise scenario reached its climax as enemy search teams began operating in the immediate vicinity of the observation post. Maya felt the familiar combination of excitement and apprehension that came with challenging training situations, understanding that the next few minutes would test everything she had learned about working as part of an effective team. She prepared for whatever challenges the exercise might present, confident in her training and in the capabilities of her teammates. Anderson received a radio message indicating that enemy forces had been detected approaching their position from multiple directions. Maya felt her adrenaline surge as she realized that the exercise was about to become a test of their ability to operate under direct pressure. She checked her weapon and equipment one final time, ensuring that she was ready to perform whatever role the situation might require. Rodriguez made the decision to prepare for immediate withdrawal while continuing to gather intelligence for as long as possible. Maya understood the complexity of this tactical decision, recognizing that timing would be crucial for avoiding detection while maintaining mission accomplishment. She prepared to move on Rodriguez's command, her equipment arranged for rapid displacement while maintaining her ability to provide security for the team. Mitchell made a final series of observations that provided critical intelligence about enemy search patterns and dispositions. Maya watched him work under pressure with professional admiration, understanding that his ability to maintain focus while preparing for potential contact demonstrated exactly the kind of skill that made Rangers effective in combat situations. She prepared to support whatever action the team might need to take. Brooks completed his preparations for supporting the team. During whatever action might follow, his medical equipment arranged for rapid deployment, while his weapon remained ready for immediate use. Maya appreciated his professional readiness and his ability to balance multiple responsibilities under pressure. She understood that effective teams required personnel who could perform their specialized roles while contributing to overall mission success. The sound of approaching footsteps through the forest indicated that enemy search teams were getting dangerously close to the observation post. Maya felt her training take over as she prepared for the possibility of contact, her movements becoming more deliberate and controlled as the situation developed. She understood that the next few minutes would demonstrate whether months of training had prepared her for the challenges of operating under direct pressure. Rodriguez signaled for the team to prepare for immediate withdrawal, his hand signals clear and decisive despite the pressure of the developing situation. Maya responded with the precision that came from extensive training, her movements coordinated with those of her teammates in a way that demonstrated effective team cohesion under stress. She understood that successful withdrawal would require everyone to perform their assigned roles while maintaining the flexibility to adapt to unexpected developments. The exercise had reached the point where Maya's true capabilities would be tested under conditions that replicated the stress and complexity of actual combat operations. Everything she had learned during months of training would be put to the test as she worked with her team to accomplish their mission, while dealing with challenges that would reveal whether she possessed the skills and character that Rangers were expected to demonstrate under pressure. The withdrawal began with the methodical precision that characterized all Ranger operations, each team member moving according to predetermined routes and timing that had been rehearsed until it became instinctive. Maya followed Rodriguez through terrain that seemed to shift and change in the fading afternoon light, her movements silent and controlled, despite the pressure of knowing that enemy search teams were operating dangerously close to their former position. The observation post they had maintained for over 6 hours was now compromised, but the intelligence they had gathered would prove invaluable for coordinating the actions of other Ranger units still operating in the exercise area. Anderson maintained communications with higher headquarters throughout the withdrawal, his radio traffic kept to absolute minimum while still providing essential updates about the team's status and location. Maya listened to the brief transmissions with professional attention, understanding that their ability to coordinate with other teams might prove crucial if the tactical situation continued to develop in unexpected directions. The exercise controllers were clearly pushing all participating units to their limits, creating scenarios that tested not just individual capabilities but the complex coordination required for successful multi-unit operations. Mitchell moved through the withdrawal route with the heightened awareness that came from years of experience operating in hostile environments. His training as a sniper had developed his ability to read terrain and identify potential threats before they became immediate dangers, skills that proved valuable even when he wasn't operating in his primary role. Maya watched him navigate the difficult terrain with professional admiration, recognizing the expertise that made him such an effective team member regardless of the specific mission requirements. Brooks maintained his medical readiness throughout the withdrawal while contributing to the team's overall security, his equipment arranged to allow rapid response to injuries while maintaining his ability to engage potential threats. Maya appreciated his professional versatility and his ability to balance multiple responsibilities without compromising either his medical capabilities or his contribution to team security. She understood that effective Ranger operations required personnel who could perform multiple roles while maintaining focus on mission accomplishment. The withdrawal route led through terrain that became increasingly challenging as the team moved away from their compromised observation post. Dense vegetation limited visibility, while rocky outcroppings created obstacles that had to be navigated carefully to avoid creating noise that might attract enemy attention. Maya's smaller size provided advantages in the difficult terrain, allowing her to move through areas where larger team members had to work harder to maintain stealth and speed. Rodriguez coordinated the team's movement with hand signals that maintained noise discipline, while ensuring everyone understood the tactical situation and their individual responsibilities. Maya responded to his directions with the precision that came from extensive training. Her movements coordinated with those of her teammates in a way that demonstrated effective team cohesion under pressure. She understood that successful withdrawal required not just individual competence, but coordinated teamwork that allowed the team to overcome obstacles that no single person could handle alone. The exercise scenario continued to evolve as radio communications indicated that other Ranger teams were encountering increasingly sophisticated opposition that tested their ability to adapt to changing tactical situations. Maya understood that the complexity of the exercise was designed to replicate the kind of challenges Rangers might face during actual combat operations, where enemy forces would adapt their tactics based on observed Ranger activities and capabilities. Anderson received intelligence updates that suggested enemy search teams were expanding their operations to cover larger areas, using coordinated search patterns that would be difficult to avoid through simple evasion techniques. Maya absorbed this information with professional concern, understanding that the team might need to modify their withdrawal plans to account for the increased threat level. She prepared for the possibility that they might encounter enemy forces despite their efforts to avoid detection. Mitchell identified potential defensive positions along their withdrawal route, locations where the team could establish temporary security if they were forced to halt their movement or defend against pursuing forces. Maya studied these positions with tactical interest, understanding that effective withdrawal required not just movement skills but the ability to transition quickly between movement and defense as the situation required. Brooks monitored the team's physical condition throughout the challenging withdrawal, watching for signs of fatigue or stress that might affect their performance. Maya appreciated his professional attention to the team's welfare, understanding that effective operations required leaders who could balance mission accomplishment with personnel welfare. She maintained her own performance standards while staying alert to the condition of her teammates. The withdrawal had been proceeding smoothly for nearly an hour when Anderson received a radio transmission that changed everything. Enemy forces had captured one of the other Ranger teams operating in the exercise area, and intelligence suggested that the captured personnel were being held at a location that would require immediate rescue operations to prevent their simulated execution according to the exercise scenario. Rodriguez gathered the team for a hasty tactical conference, his voice low but clear as he explained the developing situation. Maya listened with professional attention, understanding that the exercise had just shifted from a withdrawal operation to a potential rescue mission that would test capabilities they hadn't expected to use during this training event. The captured team included personnel she knew and respected, adding emotional weight to what had been primarily a tactical exercise. The captured Rangers were being held in a facility that intelligence indicated was heavily defended, with multiple layers of security that would make a conventional rescue attempt extremely difficult. Maya studied the tactical information with growing concern, understanding that any rescue operation would require precise coordination and exceptional execution to succeed without resulting in casualties among both the rescue force and the captured personnel. Anderson established communications with the Exercise Control Center to receive detailed intelligence about the facility where the captured Rangers were being held. The information revealed defensive positions, guard rotations, and structural details that would be crucial for planning an effective rescue operation. Maya absorbed this intelligence with professional interest, understanding that the quality of their planning would directly affect the success of any rescue attempt. Mitchell analyzed the intelligence from a sniper's perspective, identifying potential observation positions and fields of fire that could support a rescue operation. His expertise in long-range engagement and battlefield observation provided insights that would be crucial for coordinating the complex actions required for successful hostage rescue. Maya watched him work with professional admiration, recognizing the specialized knowledge that made him such a valuable team member. Brooks considered the medical implications of a rescue operation, understanding that any assault on a defended position carried significant risks of casualties among both friendly and enemy forces. His preparation included not just treating potential injuries but planning for the rapid evacuation of personnel who might be wounded during the operation. Maya appreciated his professional thoroughness and his ability to anticipate problems before they developed into crises. Rodriguez made the decision to attempt the rescue operation despite the risks involved, understanding that leaving fellow Rangers in enemy hands was unacceptable even in a training exercise. Maya felt a surge of professional pride at being part of a team that would risk their own safety to rescue captured comrades, understanding that this commitment to mutual support was fundamental to Ranger culture and effectiveness. The rescue plan required the team to approach the enemy facility through terrain that provided minimal concealment while avoiding defensive positions that could detect their movement. Maya studied the approach routes with tactical concern, understanding that the team's smaller size would be both an advantage and a disadvantage during the operation. They would be harder to detect, but would have limited firepower if they encountered strong resistance. Anderson coordinated with other Ranger units operating in the area to determine what support might be available for the rescue operation. The radio traffic revealed that most other teams were dealing with their own tactical situations and would not be able to provide immediate assistance. Maya understood that their team would essentially be operating independently, relying on their own capabilities and resources to accomplish the rescue mission. Mitchell identified a position where he could provide overwatch and precision fire support for the rescue operation, but the location would require him to separate from the main team and approach the target facility from a different direction. Maya appreciated the tactical logic of this plan while understanding that it would reduce the team's firepower during the actual assault phase of the operation. Brooks prepared his medical equipment for treating potentially serious injuries while maintaining his ability to participate in combat operations. Maya watched him balance these competing requirements with professional skill, understanding that the rescue operation would test every aspect of their training and capabilities. She prepared her own equipment for the complex mission that lay ahead. Rodriguez briefed the team on their individual roles during the rescue operation, his assignments based on each person's capabilities, and the specific requirements of the mission. Maya received responsibilities that would test her ability to operate independently while contributing to overall mission success, understanding that the rescue operation would provide opportunities to demonstrate capabilities that hadn't been fully utilized during previous exercises. The approach to the enemy facility required movement through terrain that offered limited concealment while maintaining the speed necessary to reach the objective before enemy forces could detect and respond to their presence. Maya moved through the challenging approach with controlled urgency, her smaller profile providing advantages in maintaining stealth while her conditioning allowed her to sustain the pace required for mission success. Anderson maintained minimal radio communications during the approach, his transmissions limited to essential coordination with Mitchell and updates to higher headquarters about the team's progress. Maya listened to the brief radio traffic with professional attention, understanding that their ability to maintain communications might prove crucial if the operation encountered unexpected complications. Mitchell reached his overwatch position and began systematic observation of the target facility, his reports providing real-time intelligence about enemy dispositions and activities. Maya appreciated the detailed information he provided, understanding that his professional expertise would be crucial for identifying opportunities and threats that might affect the success of the rescue operation. Brooks positioned himself where he could provide medical support while maintaining the ability to participate in combat operations if additional firepower became necessary. Maya understood the complexity of his role and the professional skill required to balance multiple responsibilities during high-stress operations. She prepared for the possibility that his medical expertise might prove crucial for treating injured personnel during or after the rescue. The final approach to the target facility revealed that the enemy defensive positions were more extensive than initial intelligence had suggested. Maya studied the layout with tactical concern, understanding that the rescue operation would be more challenging than originally anticipated. She prepared for the possibility that the mission might require modifications to the original plan based on the actual conditions they encountered. Rodriguez coordinated the team's final preparations for the assault phase of the rescue operation, his commands delivered through hand signals that maintained noise discipline while ensuring everyone understood their roles and timing. Maya responded with the precision that came from extensive training, her equipment checked, and ready for whatever challenges the operation might present. The rescue operation began with Mitchell engaging enemy sentries from his overwatch position, his precision fire eliminating threats without alerting the main enemy force to the rescue team's presence. Maya watched the initial phase of the operation unfold with professional appreciation, understanding that the success of the entire mission depended on this kind of coordinated action between team members operating in different locations. Anderson monitored communications throughout the initial assault, listening for indications that enemy forces were responding to the rescue attempt while maintaining contact with higher headquarters about the operation's progress. Maya appreciated his professional competence and his ability to manage multiple communication requirements while contributing to overall mission success. Brooks moved with the assault element while maintaining his medical readiness, his dual role requiring exceptional professional skill and situational awareness. Maya watched him balance these competing requirements with admiration, understanding that effective Ranger operations required personnel who could perform multiple functions while maintaining focus on mission accomplishment. The assault on the enemy facility proceeded according to plan during the initial phases, with coordinated actions by all team members allowing them to penetrate the outer defensive perimeter without alerting the main enemy force. Maya contributed to this success by clearing assigned sectors while maintaining awareness of the broader tactical situation, her performance demonstrating the training and preparation that had brought her to this point. Rodriguez led the team through the facility's interior toward the location where intelligence indicated the captured Rangers were being held. Maya followed his lead through corridors and rooms that had been arranged to simulate the kind of complex indoor environment where rescue operations often took place. The facility's layout required careful navigation to avoid enemy positions while maintaining the speed necessary for mission success. The location of the captured Rangers was protected by multiple layers of security that had to be overcome through coordinated action by the entire rescue team. Maya participated in clearing these defensive positions with the precision that came from extensive training in close-quarters combat, her smaller size providing advantages in navigating tight spaces while maintaining effective firepower. Mitchell continued providing overwatch and precision fire support from his external position, his communications with the assault team coordinated through Anderson's radio equipment. Maya appreciated the complex coordination required to maintain effective teamwork when team members were operating in different locations with different perspectives on the tactical situation. Brooks treated simulated injuries among the captured Rangers while preparing them for evacuation from the enemy facility. Maya assisted with these preparations while maintaining security, understanding that the rescue operation's success would be measured not just by reaching the captured personnel, but by safely extracting them from the hostile environment. The extraction phase of the rescue operation required the entire team to withdraw from the enemy facility while protecting the rescued Rangers who might not be in condition to move quickly or defend themselves. Maya took responsibility for protecting some of the rescued personnel during the withdrawal, her role expanding beyond her original assignment as the tactical situation developed. Anderson coordinated the extraction with higher headquarters while managing communications between team members who were operating under increasing pressure as enemy forces responded to the rescue operation. Maya listened to the radio traffic with professional concern, understanding that their window for successful extraction was limited by the enemy's ability to organize effective pursuit. Mitchell provided covering fire during the initial phases of the extraction, his position allowing him to engage enemy forces that attempted to interfere with the rescue team's withdrawal. Maya appreciated his professional skill and his willingness to accept increased personal risk to ensure the success of the overall mission. His actions demonstrated the kind of mutual support that made Ranger operations effective even under extremely challenging conditions. Brooks continued providing medical support to injured personnel during the extraction while contributing to the team's overall security. Maya watched him manage these multiple responsibilities with professional admiration, understanding that his expertise was crucial for ensuring that rescued personnel could survive the challenging withdrawal from the hostile area. The extraction route led through terrain that became increasingly difficult as the rescue team moved away from the enemy facility, while carrying personnel who were not in condition to move at normal speed. Maya adapted to these challenges by taking additional responsibility for security and navigation, her role expanding as the tactical situation required greater flexibility from all team members. Rodriguez coordinated the complex withdrawal with the kind of tactical skill that demonstrated his experience in similar operations. Maya followed his lead while contributing her own expertise to problem-solving challenges that emerged during the extraction. She understood that successful operations required not just following orders but taking initiative when the situation demanded additional capabilities. The pursuit by enemy forces intensified as the rescue team moved through the withdrawal route, requiring constant vigilance and tactical flexibility to avoid contact that could compromise the mission. Maya contributed to the team's security while helping to move rescued personnel who were slowing the overall pace of the extraction. Her conditioning and determination proved crucial for maintaining the speed necessary for successful escape. Anderson's communications revealed that other Ranger units were beginning to coordinate actions that would support the rescue team's extraction, but this assistance would not arrive immediately. Maya understood that the team would need to continue operating independently while enemy pressure continued to increase. She prepared for the possibility that they might need to defend their position until support could reach them. Mitchell began displacing from his overwatch position to rejoin the main team for the final phases of the extraction. Maya appreciated the tactical complexity of this movement and the professional skill required to coordinate between team members who were operating under pressure while dealing with multiple tactical challenges simultaneously. Brooks continued treating injured personnel while adapting his medical procedures to the requirements of movement under hostile conditions. Maya assisted with his efforts while maintaining her security responsibilities, understanding that the success of the rescue operation depended on keeping all rescued personnel in condition to complete the extraction. The extraction had been proceeding for over an hour when the tactical situation changed dramatically. Radio communications indicated that a much larger enemy force than originally anticipated was moving to intercept the rescue team before they could reach safety. Maya felt her heart rate increase as she realized that the exercise was about to become significantly more challenging than anyone had expected. Rodriguez gathered the team for a rapid tactical assessment, his analysis of the situation revealing that conventional extraction routes would likely result in contact with superior enemy forces. Maya listened to his briefing with professional concern, understanding that the team would need to find alternative solutions that relied on tactical innovation rather than superior firepower. The enemy forces that were moving to intercept the rescue team included armored vehicles and heavy weapons that would make direct confrontation extremely dangerous for the smaller Ranger unit. Maya studied the intelligence with growing realization that the team's survival would depend on avoiding detection rather than fighting their way through enemy positions. Anderson attempted to coordinate with other friendly units that might be able to provide support, but radio communications revealed that most other Ranger teams were dealing with their own tactical challenges and would not be available to assist with the extraction. Maya understood that the rescue team would need to rely entirely on their own capabilities and resources to escape the developing tactical situation. Mitchell rejoined the main team as the enemy encirclement began to take shape, his expertise in long-range engagement and battlefield observation providing crucial intelligence about enemy movements and dispositions. Maya appreciated his professional competence and his ability to contribute tactical analysis that helped the team understand the full scope of the challenges they faced. Brooks assessed the condition of the rescued Rangers and determined that several of them were not capable of sustained movement over difficult terrain. Maya realized that this limitation would significantly complicate any escape plan, as the team would need to find solutions that accommodated personnel who could not maintain normal operational pace. Rodriguez made the decision to establish a defensive position in terrain that provided some protection while he evaluated options for continuing the extraction. Maya understood the tactical logic of this decision while recognizing that remaining stationary would eventually allow enemy forces to locate and overwhelm their position. She prepared for whatever action the situation might require. The defensive position provided temporary security but limited options for continued movement toward friendly lines. Maya studied the surrounding terrain with tactical interest, looking for alternative routes or defensive advantages that might not be obvious to enemy forces who were searching for the rescue team. Her analysis focused on possibilities that larger personnel might not consider practical. Anderson established communications with higher headquarters to report the team's situation and request guidance about available options. Maya listened to the radio traffic with professional attention, understanding that the rescue team's survival might depend on coordination with assets or capabilities that were not immediately apparent. The exercise controllers were clearly testing the limits of Ranger adaptability and problem-solving abilities. Mitchell used his optical equipment to observe enemy movements and develop a comprehensive picture of the tactical situation. Maya watched him work with professional appreciation, understanding that his intelligence gathering was crucial for making informed decisions about the team's next actions. His reports revealed that enemy forces were conducting systematic searches that would eventually locate their defensive position. Brooks continued monitoring the condition of rescued personnel while preparing for the possibility that the team might need to move quickly despite the limitations of injured Rangers. Maya assisted with his preparations while maintaining her security responsibilities, understanding that medical considerations would have to be balanced against tactical requirements for survival. The tactical situation continued to deteriorate as enemy forces tightened their search pattern around the area where intelligence suggested the rescue team was located. Maya felt the pressure of the developing crisis while maintaining her professional composure, understanding that panic or hasty decisions could compromise the entire mission and endanger everyone involved. Rodriguez analyzed the available options and realized that conventional tactical solutions would not be sufficient for the challenges they faced. Maya participated in the planning process by identifying possibilities that might not be obvious to larger team members, her perspective contributing to the creative problem-solving that the situation required. The solution that emerged from their tactical analysis would require exceptional individual performance under extreme pressure, with success depending on capabilities that had never been tested under actual operational conditions. Maya realized that the rescue mission was about to become a test of everything she had learned during her military career, with the lives of her teammates depending on her ability to perform beyond normal expectations. Anderson coordinated the implementation of their escape plan with the precision required for success under hostile conditions. Maya prepared for her role in the operation with the understanding that failure would result in the capture or simulated death of the entire rescue team, along with the Rangers they had successfully extracted from enemy custody. Mitchell positioned himself to provide what support he could for the unconventional extraction plan, his expertise adapting to requirements that differed significantly from his normal operational role. Maya appreciated his professional flexibility and his willingness to contribute whatever capabilities the situation required, regardless of whether they matched his specialized training. Brooks prepared for medical contingencies while arranging his equipment to support the unique requirements of their extraction plan. Maya watched him adapt his procedures to circumstances that no training scenario had anticipated, understanding that effective operations required personnel who could improvise solutions when standard procedures were insufficient. The execution of their escape plan began with actions that would test Maya's capabilities in ways that no previous training or exercise had attempted. She understood that the next phase of the operation would determine whether months of preparation and years of professional development had equipped her for the challenges that real-world military operations could present without warning. Rodriguez coordinated the initial phases of the escape operation with the kind of tactical skill that had earned him respect throughout the Ranger community. Maya followed his lead while preparing for the individual actions that would be her responsibility during the most critical phases of the extraction. She understood that mission success would depend on her ability to perform under pressure that exceeded anything she had previously experienced. The escape operation moved into its most challenging phase, as Maya prepared to demonstrate capabilities that would either validate her place among the Army's elite forces or reveal limitations that would end her career as a Ranger. The tactical situation had evolved into exactly the kind of crisis that separated truly exceptional personnel from those who were merely competent, and Maya understood that her response to this challenge would define her professional identity for the remainder of her military service. The plan Rodriguez outlined was audacious in its simplicity and terrifying in its requirements. Maya would infiltrate the enemy compound alone, using her small stature to access routes that would be impossible for larger Rangers, while the rest of the team created diversionary actions that would draw enemy attention away from her approach. The success of the entire operation would depend on her ability to reach the captured Rangers, neutralize their guards, and coordinate their escape, while enemy forces searched for infiltrators they couldn't locate or predict. Maya felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders as she realized that 12 lives now depended on capabilities she had never tested under actual combat conditions. The rescued Rangers from their first operation were in no condition to participate in further combat actions, and the team's ammunition and medical supplies had been depleted during the initial rescue. Everything now hinged on her ability to accomplish what an entire squad of elite Rangers would normally attempt as a coordinated unit operation. Anderson handed Maya a communication device that would allow her to maintain contact with the team throughout the infiltration, but she understood that radio silence would be essential once she entered the enemy compound. The device would serve primarily as a coordination tool for timing the diversionary actions and confirming her success or failure. Maya tested the equipment with professional thoroughness, understanding that communication failures could doom the entire operation. Mitchell provided Maya with intelligence about the compound's layout based on his detailed observation of the facility during their approach. His analysis included guard positions, patrol routes, structural weaknesses, and potential escape routes that she could use once she reached the captured personnel. Maya memorized these details with the intensity that came from understanding that her life and the lives of her teammates depended on perfect execution of the infiltration plan. Brooks gave Maya medical supplies that she could carry without compromising her stealth capabilities, including items that might be needed to treat injured prisoners who had been subjected to interrogation or abuse during their captivity. Maya accepted the supplies while understanding that her medical training was limited compared to Brooks's expertise, but she would need to provide whatever treatment was possible under the constraints of the operational environment. Rodriguez reviewed the timing for the diversionary actions that would support Maya's infiltration, his plan designed to draw enemy attention away from her approach route, while maintaining enough intensity to keep hostile forces engaged throughout her time inside the compound. Maya understood that the diversion would need to be convincing enough to prevent enemy forces from detecting her presence, while avoiding casualties among her teammates, who would be operating with reduced ammunition and equipment. The infiltration route Maya had identified led through terrain that would challenge even her enhanced mobility and stealth capabilities. Dense vegetation provided concealment but created noise hazards that could alert enemy sentries, while rocky surfaces offered silent movement but exposed her to observation from multiple directions. Maya studied the approach one final time, memorizing every detail that could affect her ability to reach the compound undetected. The compound itself was a collection of buildings surrounded by defensive positions that had been established according to military principles that Maya recognized from her training. Enemy forces had positioned sentries to cover likely approaches while maintaining fields of fire that would allow them to engage attacking forces with overlapping weapons coverage. Maya's success would depend on finding gaps in this defensive coverage that existed, because the defenders had not anticipated infiltration by someone of her size and capabilities. Maya began her infiltration as the sun disappeared below the horizon, using the transition from daylight to darkness to mask her initial movements toward the enemy compound. Her approach required patience that tested her emotional control, while enemy forces continued their search for the Ranger team that had successfully extracted prisoners during the previous operation. Every sound in the forest could indicate enemy patrols that might detect her presence and compromise the entire mission. The first phase of the infiltration took Maya through terrain that forced her to crawl for extended distances, while maintaining complete silence despite the physical discomfort and mental stress of operating alone in hostile territory. Her conditioning proved crucial for sustaining the physical demands of stealth movement, while her training provided the emotional discipline necessary for maintaining focus despite the fear and uncertainty that accompanied solo operations behind enemy lines. Maya reached the compound perimeter as Rodriguez initiated the first diversionary action, drawing enemy attention toward a position nearly a kilometer from her actual location. She watched enemy forces respond to the diversion with professional interest, noting how their reaction patterns revealed information about their training, leadership, and tactical capabilities. This intelligence would be valuable for planning her movements inside the compound and anticipating enemy responses to her actions. The perimeter defenses included obstacles designed to prevent vehicle approach and channel attacking forces into areas where they could be engaged effectively by defensive positions. Maya identified gaps in these obstacles that had been created for personnel movement, but were too small for normal-sized infiltrators to exploit effectively. Her smaller stature allowed her to navigate these openings, while larger Rangers would have been forced to find alternative approaches that exposed them to enemy observation. Maya's entry into the compound required timing that coordinated her movements with the diversionary actions being conducted by her teammates. She waited for the precise moment when enemy attention was focused on responding to Rodriguez's feint before moving through the perimeter defenses and approaching the buildings where intelligence suggested the captured Rangers were being held. Her heart rate remained controlled despite the stress of the situation, her training providing the emotional stability necessary for effective performance under extreme pressure. The compound's interior layout matched Mitchell's intelligence reports with sufficient accuracy to confirm that his observations had been thorough and reliable. Maya navigated between buildings using shadows and architectural features that provided concealment, while avoiding areas where enemy personnel might detect her presence through sound or visual observation. Her movements were deliberate and controlled, each step planned to minimize risk while maintaining progress toward her objective. The building where the captured Rangers were being held was guarded by sentries whose positions had been carefully selected to prevent rescue attempts by conventional forces. Maya studied these defensive positions from concealment, identifying patterns in their alertness and movement that would allow her to approach without detection. The guards were professional and well-trained, but their preparations had not anticipated infiltration by someone with her unique capabilities and approach methods. Maya's approach to the building required her to cross open ground that would expose her to observation if enemy forces were alert to the possibility of infiltration. She timed her movement to coincide with another diversionary action that drew the guard's attention away from her approach route, using the distraction to cover the final distance to the building's exterior. Her success in reaching the building undetected confirmed that the plan was working as intended, but the most challenging phases of the operation still lay ahead. The building's construction included ventilation systems and maintenance access routes that had been designed for normal-sized personnel but could accommodate someone of Maya's dimensions with careful maneuvering. She identified an entry point that would allow her to access the building's interior without alerting the guards who were positioned at conventional entrances. This approach required physical capabilities that tested the limits of her flexibility and strength, while maintaining absolute silence despite the confined spaces and awkward positions. Maya's entry into the building through the ventilation system required nearly 30 minutes of careful movement through spaces that barely accommodated her equipment and weapons. The physical demands of this approach tested her conditioning, while the need for complete silence challenged her ability to control her breathing and movement, despite the stress and discomfort of operating in such confined conditions. Her success in navigating these obstacles without detection demonstrated capabilities that exceeded what most Rangers could have accomplished under similar circumstances. The building's interior layout included corridors and rooms that had been arranged to facilitate guarding prisoners while preventing escape attempts by captured personnel. Maya studied this arrangement from her concealed position in the ventilation system, identifying the locations where the captured Rangers were being held and the positions of guards who were responsible for preventing their escape. Her intelligence gathering revealed that the prisoners were being held in separate locations, requiring her to clear multiple areas while avoiding detection by roving guards. Maya's first objective was a room where intelligence suggested 3 captured Rangers were being held under guard by 2 enemy personnel. She positioned herself where she could observe the guards' routine and identify the optimal moment for neutralizing them without alerting other enemy forces in the building. The guards were alert and professional, but their attention was focused on preventing escape by the prisoners, rather than detecting infiltration from unexpected directions. The neutralization of the first set of guards required Maya to move through the building's interior, using techniques that relied on stealth and surprise rather than superior firepower. She approached the guard position using shadows and architectural features that provided concealment while positioning herself for simultaneous engagement of both guards before either could raise an alarm. Her success would depend on precise timing and flawless execution, as any mistake would alert the entire compound to her presence. Maya's engagement of the first guards demonstrated capabilities that exceeded what her teammates had observed during previous training exercises. Her movements were fluid and controlled, neutralizing both guards with techniques that prevented them from alerting other enemy personnel while ensuring that the captured Rangers were not injured during the action. The rescued Rangers were conscious and able to move, but they had been subjected to interrogation techniques that affected their physical condition and operational capabilities. The first group of rescued Rangers included Corporal Williams, who had been captured during the initial phases of the exercise, along with 2 newer Rangers whose injuries required immediate medical attention. Maya provided what treatment she could with the supplies Brooks had given her, while explaining the escape plan and coordinating their movements with the continuing diversionary actions being conducted by her teammates. The rescued Rangers were professional and disciplined despite their ordeal, understanding that their escape depended on following Maya's lead without question or hesitation. Maya's movement through the building toward the second group of prisoners required navigating areas where enemy guards were conducting routine patrols that could detect her presence if she made any mistakes in timing or positioning. She coordinated her movements with the diversionary actions outside the compound, using the confusion created by Rodriguez's team to mask the sounds and activities associated with moving the rescued Rangers toward potential escape routes. The second group of prisoners was being held in a more secure area of the building, guarded by enemy personnel who had been selected for their vigilance and professional competence. Maya's approach to this area required different techniques than she had used for the first rescue, as the guards were positioned to provide mutual support and overlapping observation that would detect conventional infiltration attempts. Her success would depend on identifying vulnerabilities in their security arrangements that existed because they had not anticipated her unique capabilities. Maya's assault on the second guard position required coordinated action that neutralized multiple enemy personnel simultaneously while preventing any of them from alerting the broader enemy force. Her movements were precise and controlled, using techniques that relied on speed and surprise to overcome numerical disadvantage. The action was completed within seconds, leaving the guards neutralized and the prisoners free to begin their escape from the compound. The second group of rescued Rangers included Staff Sergeant Peterson, an experienced NCO whose leadership would be valuable during the escape operation, along with specialists whose technical knowledge could contribute to the team's overall capabilities. Maya briefed them on the escape plan while assessing their physical condition and ability to participate in the challenging movement that would be required to reach safety. Peterson immediately understood the tactical situation and began coordinating with Maya to optimize their escape routes and timing. Maya's coordination of the escape from the building required managing the movements of 6 rescued Rangers, whose physical conditions varied significantly based on their treatment during captivity. Some were capable of normal movement, while others required assistance that would slow the overall pace of the escape. Maya adapted her plan to accommodate these limitations while maintaining the stealth and speed necessary for avoiding detection by enemy forces who were still responding to the diversionary actions. The escape route from the building led through areas of the compound where enemy patrols were searching for the source of the diversionary attacks that had been drawing their attention throughout Maya's infiltration. She coordinated the movement of the rescued Rangers with these patrol patterns, using her knowledge of enemy dispositions to avoid contact while moving toward the compound perimeter. Her tactical analysis proved accurate as the group successfully navigated through multiple potential detection points without alerting enemy forces. Maya's approach to the compound perimeter with 6 rescued Rangers required different techniques than she had used during her solo infiltration. The larger group was more difficult to conceal and move silently, while the physical limitations of some rescued personnel created additional challenges for maintaining stealth. Maya adapted her methods to accommodate these constraints while maintaining progress toward the extraction point where Rodriguez's team would be waiting. The final phase of the escape from the compound coincided with the most intense diversionary actions as Rodriguez's team created maximum confusion to cover Maya's extraction with the rescued Rangers. Enemy forces throughout the compound were responding to multiple apparent threats, their attention divided between different areas where they believed they were under attack. Maya used this confusion to mask the final movements of her group toward the perimeter breach point she had identified during her initial infiltration. Maya's successful extraction of 6 Rangers from the heavily defended compound represented a tactical achievement that exceeded what most military units could have accomplished, with significantly larger forces and more extensive equipment. Her ability to infiltrate the facility, neutralize multiple guard positions, coordinate the rescue of personnel from separate locations, and extract the entire group without detection demonstrated capabilities that had never been fully tested during training exercises. The link-up with Rodriguez's team occurred at the predetermined extraction point, where Anderson immediately established communications with higher headquarters to report the successful rescue of all captured personnel. Maya's return with 6 rescued Rangers created a moment of professional recognition among her teammates, who understood that they had witnessed a demonstration of capabilities that exceeded normal expectations for individual performance under combat conditions. Brooks immediately began treating the rescued Rangers whose conditions required medical attention, his expertise crucial for ensuring that all personnel would be able to continue movement toward friendly lines. Maya assisted with these medical procedures, while coordinating with Rodriguez about the next phases of their withdrawal from the hostile area. The successful rescue had created new tactical challenges, as the larger group would be more difficult to move and conceal during their continued evasion of enemy forces. Mitchell provided intelligence about enemy search patterns that had developed in response to the rescue operation, his observations revealing that hostile forces were expanding their search areas, and increasing the intensity of their efforts to locate the Ranger team. Maya absorbed this information while helping to prepare the rescued Rangers for the challenging movement that would be required to reach safety. Rodriguez coordinated the team's withdrawal with the same tactical skill he had demonstrated throughout the exercise, but now with the additional complexity of managing a group that included personnel whose physical conditions had been compromised during their captivity. Maya's role expanded beyond her original assignment, as she took responsibility for coordinating the movement of Rangers, who required assistance while maintaining security for the entire group. The withdrawal route led through terrain that tested the limits of the group's ability to move while maintaining stealth and security. Maya's conditioning and tactical skills proved crucial for maintaining the pace necessary for avoiding enemy pursuit, while ensuring that no rescued personnel were left behind due to physical limitations. Her leadership during this phase of the operation demonstrated capabilities that extended beyond the technical skills she had displayed during the infiltration and rescue. Anderson maintained communications with other friendly units throughout the withdrawal, coordinating potential support, and sharing intelligence about enemy activities that might affect their route to safety. Maya listened to these communications while maintaining her responsibilities for group security and movement coordination, understanding that their successful extraction would depend on avoiding enemy forces that were conducting intensive searches throughout the area. Mitchell continued providing tactical intelligence about enemy search patterns, while adapting his equipment and position to support the larger group's movement requirements. Maya appreciated his professional flexibility and his ability to contribute specialized capabilities that enhanced the team's overall effectiveness during the challenging withdrawal operation. Brooks managed the medical needs of the rescued Rangers while contributing to overall security and movement coordination. Maya worked closely with him to ensure that injured personnel received necessary treatment without compromising the group's ability to maintain the pace required for successful extraction. Their coordination demonstrated the kind of professional teamwork that made Ranger operations effective even under extremely challenging conditions. The enemy search for the Ranger team intensified as hostile forces realized that their prisoners had been rescued and that a significant infiltration capability was operating in their area. Maya coordinated the group's evasion techniques with professional skill, using terrain and timing to avoid detection while maintaining progress toward friendly lines. Her tactical analysis proved accurate as the group successfully navigated multiple potential contact points without engaging enemy forces. Staff Sergeant Peterson's leadership capabilities proved valuable during the withdrawal, as he coordinated with Maya to optimize the group's movement and security procedures. His experience and Maya's tactical skills complemented each other effectively, creating leadership dynamics that enhanced the team's overall performance, despite the challenging conditions and the stress of operating with personnel whose physical capabilities had been compromised. The withdrawal had been proceeding successfully for several hours when radio communications indicated that enemy forces had identified the general area where the Ranger team was operating and were moving additional resources to conduct a comprehensive search that would be difficult to avoid through conventional evasion techniques. Maya realized that the tactical situation was about to become significantly more challenging and began preparing for the possibility that the group might need to defend their position or execute emergency procedures. Rodriguez gathered the team's leadership for a tactical assessment that revealed the full scope of the challenges they now faced. Enemy forces were employing helicopter assets and additional ground units to conduct searches that would systematically cover all potential hiding places and escape routes. Maya participated in the planning process by identifying alternatives that might not be obvious to larger groups, her analytical skills contributing to the creative problem-solving that the situation required. The solution that emerged from their tactical analysis would require the group to operate in ways that tested the limits of their training and equipment, while relying on coordination and mutual support that exceeded normal operational requirements. Maya understood that the withdrawal phase of the operation would test different aspects of her capabilities than the infiltration and rescue had demanded, requiring leadership and endurance skills that complemented the technical abilities she had already demonstrated. Maya's coordination of the group's movement through increasingly difficult terrain demonstrated capabilities that had developed through years of training and conditioning, but had never been tested under such demanding operational conditions. Her ability to maintain group cohesion while adapting to changing tactical requirements proved crucial for keeping all personnel together while avoiding enemy detection during the most challenging phases of their extraction. The enemy search reached maximum intensity as hostile forces committed significant resources to locating and capturing the Ranger team that had successfully extracted their prisoners. Maya coordinated the group's evasion with tactical skill that demonstrated her understanding of enemy capabilities and limitations, using this knowledge to identify opportunities for continued movement that would not be obvious to conventional tactical analysis. Rodriguez's leadership during this phase of the operation focused on maintaining group discipline and coordination while adapting to tactical challenges that exceeded the parameters of normal training exercises. Maya's contributions to his tactical planning proved valuable for identifying solutions that took advantage of her unique capabilities and perspective, creating opportunities for success that would not have been available to conventional Ranger units. Anderson's communications revealed that friendly forces were beginning to coordinate actions that would support the Ranger team's extraction, but this assistance would not be available immediately. Maya understood that the group would need to continue operating independently while maintaining the cohesion and effectiveness necessary for survival in an increasingly hostile environment. Mitchell's intelligence gathering provided crucial information about enemy search patterns and resource allocation that helped the team avoid contact while maintaining progress toward friendly positions. Maya appreciated his professional competence and his ability to adapt his specialized skills to support the group's overall mission requirements under conditions that differed significantly from his normal operational role. Brooks continued managing the medical needs of personnel whose conditions required ongoing attention while contributing to the team's tactical capabilities. Maya coordinated with him to ensure that medical requirements were balanced against operational necessities, understanding that successful extraction would depend on maintaining both the health and the tactical effectiveness of all group members. The successful extraction of 12 Rangers from hostile territory represented a tactical achievement that would be remembered throughout their military careers as an example of what could be accomplished through exceptional individual performance combined with effective teamwork under extreme pressure. Maya's role in this success had evolved from technical specialist to tactical leader, demonstrating capabilities that exceeded what her colleagues had previously observed during training exercises and routine operations. The operation's success validated Maya's place among the Army's elite forces while establishing her reputation as someone whose capabilities extended beyond conventional expectations for Rangers of her size and experience level. Her teammates' recognition of her contributions would influence their future approach to tactical planning and personnel utilization, understanding that effectiveness could not be predicted based solely on physical characteristics or traditional performance measures. Maya's demonstration of exceptional capabilities under combat conditions would reshape how her unit approached mission planning and personnel assignments, creating opportunities for her to contribute specialized skills that complemented the team's overall effectiveness. The operation had proven that individual excellence, properly applied within effective team dynamics, could overcome tactical challenges that would defeat conventional approaches to military operations. The ceremony at Fort Benning drew Rangers from across the entire regiment, word having spread through military channels about the unprecedented solo rescue that had redefined what individual excellence could accomplish under combat conditions. Maya stood at attention as Colonel Harrison read the citation that would accompany her Silver Star, the words describing actions that had saved 12 lives while demonstrating tactical innovation that would influence Ranger doctrine for years to come. Staff Sergeant Johnson approached Maya after the ceremony, his earlier skepticism replaced by genuine respect that reflected a fundamental shift in how he evaluated personnel capabilities. The woman he had once dismissed as too small for elite operations had proven that effectiveness transcended physical stereotypes, accomplishing missions that larger Rangers might have found impossible to execute with equal success. Rodriguez presented Maya with her promotion orders to sergeant. The advancement accelerated based on leadership she had demonstrated during operations that tested every aspect of Ranger training and doctrine. Her new rank came with assignment to the regiment's Special Operations Training Cadre, where her expertise would be used to develop infiltration techniques that maximize the advantages of diverse physical capabilities among elite personnel. Mitchell sought out Maya during the reception that followed the ceremony, his quiet acknowledgement carrying weight among Rangers who understood that his professional approval was earned through demonstrated competence rather than social courtesy. His recommendation for her inclusion in advanced sniper training reflected recognition that her stealth capabilities complemented marksmanship skills in ways that created unique operational advantages. Brooks expressed appreciation for Maya's medical performance during the rescue operations, her ability to provide effective treatment under combat conditions, demonstrating skills that extended beyond her primary military occupational specialty. His support for her enrollment in advanced combat medical training would expand her capabilities while enhancing her value to special operations units that required personnel capable of performing multiple critical functions. The rescued Rangers each personally thanked Maya for actions that had quite literally saved their lives, their gratitude reflecting understanding that her willingness to risk everything for fellow soldiers embodied the finest traditions of military service. Staff Sergeant Peterson's public acknowledgement of her tactical leadership during the extraction phase validated her transition from technical specialist to combat leader. Word of Maya's achievements spread beyond Fort Benning to special operations commands throughout the military, generating requests for her participation in joint training exercises, where her unique capabilities could be shared with other elite units. Her assignment to Delta Force Selection as both candidate and instructor represented unprecedented recognition of skills that transcended traditional organizational boundaries. The nickname Pocket disappeared completely from conversations among Rangers, who now referred to Maya as Ghost, in recognition of infiltration capabilities that seemed to defy conventional understanding of what human stealth could accomplish. Her transformation from underestimated soldier to legendary operator inspired changes in recruitment and training that emphasized capability over physical stereotypes. Maya's impact extended beyond individual recognition to fundamental changes in how the Ranger Regiment approached mission planning and personnel utilization. Tactical doctrines were revised to incorporate infiltration techniques that maximized advantages available to personnel with diverse physical characteristics, creating opportunities for operational success that had previously been overlooked. The training facilities at Fort Benning established new courses focused on unconventional infiltration methods, with Maya serving as primary instructor for techniques that relied on stealth and innovation rather than conventional assault approaches. Her methods were studied and adapted by special operations units worldwide, influencing military thinking about individual capabilities within elite organizations. Maya's story became mandatory study material for Ranger candidates, demonstrating that exceptional performance resulted from dedication and skill rather than conformity to physical stereotypes. Her example encouraged personnel of all backgrounds to pursue excellence, while showing commanders the importance of recognizing potential that might not match traditional expectations. Years later, when Maya led her own Ranger company through successful operations in hostile territories around the world, her soldiers understood that effectiveness came from maximizing individual strengths within cohesive team frameworks. The lessons learned from her breakthrough performance continued influencing military doctrine long after her initial demonstration of extraordinary capabilities. The woman once mocked for her size had proven that true strength measured courage under pressure rather than pounds of muscle, that real authority earned through service transcended physical appearance, and that exceptional individuals could accomplish missions that entire units might find impossible when properly supported by professional teammates who recognized excellence regardless of its unexpected forms. Up next, you've got two more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out.